if you've got an RFP that's been sitting on your desk for 2 weeks and it's due in two more weeks, goodbye. And I think that is excellent. And I am about to put that in writing here as well. Along with the time to or from the RFP release, you might want to also think about time before the RFP release. For a large pursuit that is very complicated, has multiple volumes, has pricing and all of those things, you need to not be responding after the RFP came out, but be working on that before. And so, we're looking at another set of boundaries here in terms of these like really big pursuits over, 50 million. If you have not come to us 30 days before the RFP is released, we're going to have problems too. When it comes to scope, you can take a look at, again, what is your group responsible for? And this could apply if you're one proposal team out of many in a large organization, or just a small team within a small organization. But are there certain types of clients or certain types of services that are a priority? For example, if you are working for a smallish tech firm and you happen to do some change management consulting on part of a couple of large tech implementations, and now your team has decided, oh, hey, let's go after some change management jobs. Are those really your core competency that your company is trying to stake your name on, or not? Are they just sort of ancillary services that you've done because, it came up? We really should be making sure that we're prioritizing our time on what our company's core services are, unless it is a defined area of growth. And that goes down to relation to the growth strategy.
Just to add, can I jump in and add one thing? It's just, it's also like the core products or services that your company provides. It's also what the RFP is asking for. Mm-hmm. Like those two things have to match, or you have to decide what the level of matchness is probably for that individual RFP or for your department. But I have found it to be a really key metric that we had included is like, what is the RFP actually looking for? And does that match our core competencies?
Exactly. And I had a really good example of that where we had an RFP from a local county government, and it was one of those kitchen sink, service things. And we were very strong in one of the 12 scope areas, but only one of the 12. Should we really be going after that as a prime? That's another way to look at priority services. When you've got an effort that is cross-functional or cross-geography, it really benefits from having somebody from the central proposal group involved. Again, you've got a better picture of the company, you've got a better picture of the services that cross the different boundaries and can provide a lot more value to those types of pursuits as well. We've seen some proposal teams that will only support proposals with a defined scope, and they don't support the MSAs or umbrella contracts. We've seen some proposal teams where they only do the large umbrella contracts, and then the task orders underneath them have to be done by the client service team. And then if you're in a large company, they tend to have larger task orders under those umbrella contracts or MSAs. So that's where you see a lot of proposal teams do both, but it's something you want to look at. And then finally, cost. Sometimes we use cost as a way to, not quite as a minimum bar, but the bigger you get, the more cost needs to be important. And so we are looking at, in certain markets, a proposal needs to be a certain dollar amount, or it's going to be low on our priority list, unless the team can point to how it is directly related to and supporting our growth strategy. So say we have a minimum standard where our team is not going to support a state government bid unless it's at least $1 million. Well, if it's 500,000, but it is the first of its kind in a market that we're trying to grow into, and thus supports our strategic vision, that might get an exception. So these are all things that it helps for you to think about, get approval from your leadership, get approval from your sales team, get buy-in from the executives. And if you can sort of define these sorts of things, it can really go a long way in terms of helping your internal clients know what you're going to support and what you're not. And that can help you by limiting the number of times you have to say no, because if people see that, the request is going to be out of scope, they, some of the time they won't even bother you with it.